To the growing tensions in the Middle East, we have team coverage as Israel launches new strikes on Beirut overnight. Inez de la Cuetada is in Israel, but let's begin here with ABC's Patrick Reevell, who is in Lebanon this morning. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Gio. Yeah, there were more Israeli airstrikes here in Beirut overnight. We've been watching smoke rise from them in the distance behind me. But looming over all of this is Israel's promised response to Iran's barrage of missiles earlier this week, and the fear that when that finally comes, it could plunge the Middle East deeper into a wider war.
Overnight, explosions lighting up the sky as Israel again struck southern Beirut. Israel hitting Lebanon's capital daily as its war with Hezbollah intensifies. Lebanon's health ministry saying more than 2,000 people have now been killed and nearly 10,000 injured, most in just the past 2 weeks. Israel telling more areas in southern Lebanon to evacuate. 1.2 million people already displaced.
It's very hard.
American Lebanese citizen Samar Barweb evacuated on a flight to Istanbul. Plumes of smoke visible at Beirut's airport.
Many people are waiting at the airport all day just so they can get their grandparents out, their mom out, or their daughters out. It's completely tragic.
As fears of a wider Middle East war still grow, the US Friday struck Yemen, targeting Iran-backed Houthi rebels. The Pentagon saying the strikes were to prevent Houthis targeting shipping. The world bracing for Israel's promised response to Iran's unprecedented missile attack earlier this week. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini leading Friday prayers, defiant, telling thousands the strikes were legal and legitimate. Questions now whether Israel will target Iran's oil industry. President Biden Friday, though, seeming to discourage that.
I think if I were in their shoes, I'd be thinking about other alternatives than striking oil fields.
An Israeli attack on Iran's oil facilities would send oil prices soaring, and that could have an effect in the US presidential election. But even if Israel doesn't choose to attack Iran's oil industry, most experts here believe that Israel's response is going to be severe and the escalation is very likely. Gio.
And all of this could have such an impact. Patrick, thank you so much for your reporting, as always. Let's go ahead and bring in ABC's Inez de la Cuetada from Tel Aviv this morning. Inez, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gio, and everybody here on edge waiting to see what Israel does next. The Israelis have vowed to retaliate, but it is still unclear what that response will look like. There has been talk of Israel potentially going after Iran's nuclear facilities, potentially targeting its oil industry. We know the U.S. does not support either of those options. Unclear whether Israel will listen, and there are concerns that strikes on Iran's oil industry could cause gas prices to surge around the world. Now, we know the Israelis here are looking to reestablish deterrence, so they are looking for symbolic targets that will send a big message to Iran, to other bad actors in the region. And as far as timing, we initially thought this would happen quickly. It does appear that the Israelis now are taking a little bit more time. It could be because of the Jewish New Year holiday. It could be that they're still weighing their options. It could also be that they're preparing something more sophisticated, and so they need a little bit more time to get ready. But we are now closing in on the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th terror attacks. That anniversary now just 2 days away. The IDF engaging with Hamas in Gaza, with Hezbollah in Lebanon, with Iran, of course, with the Houthis in Yemen. And so there are real fears here that we could be on the brink of an all-out regional war. Janae?
And as you said, everyone there in the region and really around the world just on edge, waiting to see what happens next. And thank you.